Hey, and welcome to Elite Rounders Mental Game Corner. Today we are discussing why we need to fix our biggest leaks. And I thought this was really interesting topic because it was on my mind because I play football and I'm kind of bad at it. But I think it was I think it was a good topic on my mind after that. So why focusing only on the good won't work? We all know the saying, focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. I definitely think there's some truth to it, but if our weaknesses are too big or just like massively killing rest of your football game or poker game or whatever game you're playing or whatever you're doing, it's a weakness we need to deal with, you know. So if some weakness is actually killing our process of improving, it has to be dealt with. Otherwise, it will always kill us, hold us back, basically, you could say. Exactly. So we can't let our weakness destroy our game. That's the key thing. So that's why we need to improve those. So that's why it's such a nice saying, focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. But if those weaknesses are tracking yourself so down, it will also kill your, even if your game is here, let's say your poker game is here, but your mental level of poker is here, this will also lower here, right? So even if you will be great player, technically, theory-wise, everything, but if you have mental leaks, let's say you tilt off, you lose a one hand, or fish beats you, or whatever triggers your tilt, and your level of play is here, and after that, when that happens, it's here. You're not that good anymore. So it's very important that we deal with this leak, basically. But for example, in this, I use football. If you're not good in football because you can't run enough or fast enough, you have to go out and learn to be a better runner if you want to improve. Sure, you can focus on just becoming more skilled, but you will always be handicapped by the lack of movement. Let's say in football, even if you are fairly talented, which is nice, you can survive. But which one would make you better player, way better? Is, let's say you are not very good runner, right? If you would actually improve your running to decent level, and you were earlier the worst runner of anybody, you will be way better than before because you can actually implement more things in your game as well because you can actually run a little bit. But if the running is again, your skills are actually fairly good, but your running is the worst of the pitch, you're the worst runner at the pitch, it's really going to hurt you because you're not going to get the balls, you're not going to react fast enough, maybe you're also slow reflex because overweight, or you're not that well exercised, it will affect a lot of things. Maybe you are more easily exhausted, you make more bad decisions. Basically, there's so many things which affect your decision making in football. But this is a good example that, again, if your running is just not up to the bar, you're not going to beat these players unless you are way more talented than, you would need to be here to overcome the fact that you're the worst runner. So it's really tough. Sure, you could improve these skills here, which is really tough, or you could just improve this here and you will be already probably better than you would be just focusing on the good skills. So again, I think it's very important to eliminate those big leaks. So again, we don't want to be handicapped by anything, meaning we need to be at least good enough runner so we're not handicapped by it. And in poker, you don't want to be handicapped by those mental issues because then it will really handicap your game. Let's say it's here, same thing as we talk about. Because the flow, we can fix it. If the flow is something we can fix it, of course we should fix it because otherwise it will really hurt us. But yeah, enough football. I do have some poker example. It's from my personal experience. I was lazy to study math part of the poker, yet improving this part of my poker game changed my game for the better. I have way better understanding of the game after I started studying math side of poker. It took away one of the biggest flaws I had, which was understanding the math part of poker. It made me stronger player and better. So again, because I was just lazy, to be honest, I was quite good in math. math in school, but I was just lazy because like math is maybe not the most exciting part of poker. Now, to be honest, the better I got, also more interested I became in it. So it's kind of funny that also like studying it a little bit made me more curious, and I'm more interested in now because I understand it's so fantastic tool for me, and it made me way better player. So it actually makes you more motivated to study more about the math side of it. Um, but either way, it made me way better player, and now I can see that earlier I was just lost most of the time. So it's very important that we all know our flaws basically, and if we know it's killing us, we need to work on that because like otherwise it might drag us down by quite a bit. Of course, in poker we can still survive kind of without math in a way because like we have good programs. We can always check later, oh, what should we do here, yada yada. So today actually, it's still very important but like I said, a lot of programs can help you with this. That's how I survived many years, and but I feel like it definitely still gave me next level of playing after I fixed this league. The math flaws were so huge that it was limiting my level of being a great poker player. That's why it was so crucial to fix the issue. But definitely, I would say it limited me to some level of player as well. If you don't understand the basics, so understands the basics, and it's not like you need to be Superman to understand this. It's just being lazy, because you can get by doing something. You just keep doing that, which is not always the smartest. Even if it's working, doesn't mean you can't improve on it, So the biggest leaks can be anything, though. It can be your lack of knowledge in math. It can be lack of self-control with the money. You ruin your bankroll. It can be mental problem. You tilt off your money and lose. All these will hurt your process becoming a great player. So all these things, like if you can't handle your money, first of all, that's something you need to deal with. Not to mention, like if you ever want to become wealthy, it's probably not going to happen if you keep blowing your money on something you don't really need or you can't afford. It's about self-control, and that will keep happening if you don't control your money as well. Same as your bankroll. If you're just too reckless with the bankroll, you will be ruined at some point. It's only math. Again, it's only math. Yeah, I mean, if you're taking too big shots all the time, it doesn't matter what amount of money you have because you will always find bigger game. And you're kind of like going, how is it called again? In roulette, you always bet if you, blackjack? Is it blackjack? No, roulette. You bet on black. If you lose, you double the bet. And then, of course, if you had a limitless amount of money, you would never lose. But first of all, casinos would definitely at some point just limit you, right? Meaning you can't double the money, and at some point you would lose, right? But yeah, so either way, the ruin is coming. It's only a matter of time. But yeah, not to mention, some of these will always destroy you. For example, the lack of self-control with money. That will always be your cause of failure if you don't do that, because you will run out of money. You will have to go somewhere else to get. Maybe you have to get staked. You play 50% of your potential income. If you play all the time over your bankroll, the ruin is behind the corner. It's only question of when it happens. So yes, it's like the gambler's life. You have these ups and downs, really brutal downs. You have very great upswings, but when the reality hits, you're in the gutter, you could say, like under the bridge. That's not nice. It's not good feeling. While poker is gambling, per se, you could say poker is gambling. Of course, I mean, after being professional so many years, I don't. It is gambling, but like I don't see it as a gambling. It's kind of interesting when I mention it. I don't even think it's gambling. It's like it's a skill game, so it's nothing to do with gambling. But short term, it is a lot of gambling, of course. But yeah, so basically you're just gambling with your life. So you want to have more stable control of yourself with these. You don't want to be, oh, if you lose this week, you're under the bridge next. That's not sustainable, or that's not life most of the people want to live. So I wouldn't recommend that. So same if you lack control in money in real life, buying excessive things you can't afford. Let's say you go to 5-star hotel even though you can't afford it. You will buy your girlfriend some gifts you can't afford. That's not sustainable. Like, you need to think about these from long-term perspective. Sure, sometimes we can make purchases which are like bigger than what you would usually spend. But if they don't ruin your finance and you can finance it, you can do it sometimes. Like if you want to play, like let's say my strategy every year is like, let's make minimum $50,000. That's kind of like what I've calculated that I should make minimum. So if I play 5K tournament a year, it's okay. It's not gonna ruin me if I lose the 5K. So I can actually play 5K tournament a year and it's not gonna ruin me. But I'm not gonna play 2 or 3 or 4 of them, and maybe even then I satellite in or something. But like again, you can take kind of big looking shots with not that much money if you do it like once a year or something. But you can't do it every weekend. I can't play 5K tournament every week, just to take a shot. So it's like, it's all about self-discipline. You can still do fun shot taking with like good control. It doesn't need to be like crazy. But yeah, it's all about like, I guess, doing it in a balanced way, not like out of line, uncontrolled. If you're controlling all these things well, you can actually still kind of enjoy life and do things. Instead of going to 5-star hotel, you go to 4-star hotel maybe. And it's probably not that big difference anyway, because who the hell stays at the hotel anyway? But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this helps a little bit with thinking what sort of leaks you have in life and what are the things you could easily fix which could destroy your poker life. So it's something to think about. But yeah, so I hope you find the solution how to fix it, and good luck.